Good afternoon, everybody. We'll call this meeting to order. Do I have a motion to accept the agenda as submitted?
I make a motion to accept the agenda as submitted.
I second that.
We have a second. Any discussion? No? All right. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? All right. Motion carries. Do I have a motion for the approval of minutes for the regular meeting on June the 28th, 2017?
I make the motion to approve the minutes of the regular meeting for June 28, 2017.
Do we have a second?
I second that motion.
We have a second. I'll give you a couple of seconds to review that if you'd like. Any discussion? Was that a...
That was an aye.
All right. Any other discussion? All right. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Motion carries. We'll go into public comment time. Anybody that wishes to address the board may do so at this time. If you'll keep your comments to about 3 minutes. Identify yourself and proceed.
I got some. My name's Omero Valdez.
Step up to the podium,
Yes,
if you
sir.
would, please. Yes, sir, Mr. Valdez.
Sure, my name's Omero Valdez. I'm helping with the softball league. As many of you know, I take it serious. We want to bring more tournaments, more camps, which brings revenue to the town. I've done it for 2 years and I've proven I could do it, and we're doing it. But now I think it's time that we update our fields. I know funding is tough, but I just gotta say we need to find that funding. Case in point, in May, we have things like Jeannie Finch coming to town, guaranteed 200, 400 campers coming to that, plus families. With that being said, I think we need to do more for softball fields. Just walking out there, it's easy to see what we need to be doing. I mean, George is doing a great job. The city's doing a great job, but I think it's time we step it up. And that's where I'm at.
Can you be more specific,
Yes, sir.
Mr. Romero?
Backstops
Okay.
need to be replaced. Simple things like parking lot striping. I mean, there's massive amounts of cars, kids out there. It's a mess. Even during league, it's a mess. Fencing, dugouts, even outfield lighting. Outfield lighting, that's safety. I mean, I've been at baseball games where they shut down the games because of the safety of the kids. These girls hit just as hard. I don't mind that. So I mean, what's it gonna take? And these are just basic items that we need to, I'm hoping, because we're trying to get revenue to the town. We're trying to get the sports back up, and softball is a good starting point. We're doing it. We've done it for the last 2 years. That's really where I'm at on that.
Let me ask you this, Mr. Valdez. Do you think it's a matter of lack of interest or lack of funds?
Well, could be both. Lack of interest maybe on the city, lack of funds maybe on the city. That's my personal opinion, but somewhere along the line, those fields need to be updated, basically.
You mentioned that George is doing a great job out
Yes.
there. So explain the lack of interest that you've seen from the city.
Well, he's done a great job with what he has, with what he got. But I mean, it's either just we go to level land. You were just there. Hobbs. I mean, you see, it's like day and night. Tatum, table. And it's just something.
All right. Any other discussion on the board? Mr. Valdez, thank you so much for coming up. Appreciate you. Thank you. Anybody else wish to address the board? All right. Seeing as there are none, we'll go on. We'll go into non-action items, Parks and Recreation Facilities Update. Mr. Williams.
Sir, Mayor, members of the board. So, of course, this will, we haven't had any meetings since June, frankly, because of mainly finances. We don't have any large projects. We only have 2 projects planned this year with Parks and Rec, and that's, we're going to talk about both of those as we go through this. First of all, of course, we did change, the City Commission did change and adopt Ordinance 554, which did allow for ex officio members to be part of the board. And the language for that is up there on there, where 1 representative from each registered nonprofit sports league is selected by the respective boards or ex officio members. Registered nonprofits classified as one that's recognized by the state of New Mexico Secretary of State as a nonprofit corporation. I believe they also call it a term, domestic nonprofit. So what this means is, of course, ex officio, they are non-voting, but to be recognized, the easy thing is we go on and we verify with the Secretary of State that they are a registered nonprofit in the state of New Mexico. Easiest way to do that is either a name search or a business ID number. Second thing is their governing board. Most of these will have some type of a, well, you have to have a board of directors in order to have that nonprofit status, just something from that board saying that this is our representative for this particular league. The next thing on there, of course, is our disc golf course through our various, of course, some funding. The city has budgeted $10,000 towards this particular project. The matching funds actually are threefold that. We will be having our disc golf course. It's almost at completion. They only had a couple of pads left to pour. Of course, we have our tee box signs as well as some sponsorships for that particular course. Now, Holly Frontier donated the bulk of the cost of the project, which was brand new baskets. There will be it's an 36 hole course. 2 tee pads. You have, I guess you would say, a novice and then a beginner tee pad. You have a lot of options. This will actually allow us, it's another avenue for use of all the open space out at Chaparral Park, but it also has the ability to bring individuals in for tournaments. I guess you would say we're having a soft tournament. I believe it's November 11th. They're having a soft opening out there with a tournament. They're actually going to be playing here and also in Hobbs. We will have an official grand opening later. We just want to make sure we get all the kinks and any modifications that we need to make to the course done. Of course, Holly Frontier wants to have a nice ribbon cutting, considering their investment in Lovington. But it does utilize, this was actually what we discussed in June. Installation of all the baskets, the tee markers, the tee pads has all been done by our local disc golf players. They've been out there every weekend, almost rain and shine, pouring concrete, moving those sacks by hand. So they've really done quite a bit, and we of course will recognize everybody who's helped bring this to. In addition to that, Movies by Moonlight, we started that program actually last month in Patriots Day. We showed Captain America. That was actually very well attended. We had 2 vendors out there. Of course, we showed Hocus Pocus, not Hocus Locus. Maybe that's why not a lot of people showed.
I was going to ask you, I hadn't heard of that one.
But yeah, Hocus Pocus. We had about 95 people show up. We did not have a food vendor that night, but we were competing with a lot of local, well, I think we had a fall festival carnival where you were getting pies thrown at you.
Oh yeah, I tried to forget about that.
But 95 was good. Insidious, we decided, we had a lot of folks call and say, hey, we want something for adults. So through SurveyMonkey to find out, you know, what's your favorite Halloween-themed child's film, and then a more of an adult-themed horror film around Halloween, and they chose Insidious. There was 32 people out there. It actually wasn't that bad. I know that we did have mosquitoes at the last show, but the only reason is it was too windy that morning for Dennis to spray. However, with just a little citronella oil, it kept them away, and the wind got up. We found out that about 18 miles an hour is the limit to where it makes the movie really interesting.
3D?
Yes, it's 4D.
Okay.
Because it'll reach out and pop. No. It wasn't that bad. You brought out your chairs, your blankets. We didn't have any vendors at that one, but we were dealing with about 58 to 60 degree temperatures with the wind, and it was almost a little uncomfortable, but it was still good. Kind of discovered something that was really neat. May try to incorporate it during the 4th of July, but right when the movie ended, the wind started to pick up, so we went ahead and just unplugged the screen to let it deflate, but the projector was still on. And just to the north is this really huge mulberry tree. That projector was strong enough to where you could actually read the credits scrolling on that tree.
Oh, there goes.
So it kind of, I saw some something at Disney World several years ago where, and I don't know if they still do it, but at that time they would sit there at the end of the day, they would have this big light show where they would project pictures on the castle, and it would, I mean, it's like the castle was changing. changing color. It was really cool. I think we could figure out a way to do that. But for some type of dark public event, I think that might be really just
Maybe
another
bat
option.
signal?
The bat signal, yes. So, of course, this equipment can also be used at our youth center as to install batting cages out there at the Left Street or Harold Rollins complex. So it's just a matter of timing. We can get those up so that individuals out there can take advantage of the batting cages out there. So I know that is something that it's one of those improvements that, along with the other items that Mr. Valdez had brought up, we identified in our master plan a couple of years ago as far as the updates to not only that facility but every facility. No, those batting cages they were going to graciously donate. Those and install them out there, and the only thing we ask is let us know so we can mark where our sprinklers are at. I know that's one item that we do need to update out there. I can't remember the exact cost that we came up with, but it was at least $100,000 to install a new sprinkler system out there. George and I took some aerials of it during the growing season. You can definitely see the gaps, much like what we had out at Chaparral Park prior to the new system being installed, that just simply aren't getting irrigated because the system's broken, and really is one of those, a lot of history has been lost. We don't have any as-built plans when that system was installed. I actually kind of stumbled upon it, and it's what was it? The Junior Home Run Derby competition, and we have the potential to be a host for it. We just just need to apply for it. It doesn't, from what we understand, it doesn't cost us anything. They supply all of the awards, the marketing material, but it might be a potential.
Yeah, we'll call it Lee County Electric.
Well, somebody even asked, you know, can I have the banners? And I'm like, you can have them if you can get them down. I can't get them.
Cutter, I might be able to reach up there and grab them. Pull them down.
I've thought of a lot. I've even thought about taking one of those where you cut tree limbs, those,
Yeah.
to cut that thing off. I've tried.